Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is The Amateur, where we're here just to talk life, hobbies, politics, ideologies, what have you. And on today's episode, we're going to be discussing a video clip that has, I don't know if it's gone viral, but at least within Black content creators, that it's picked up some speed just because it was a female podcast pretty much disrespecting Martin Luther King Jr. For alleged rumors of him cheating on his wife. And so this is a podcast that's ran by B. Simone and a woman named Megan, and I don't know who any of them are. I don't know who any of them are, but they say some pretty wild things, and I'm just gonna do my best to break it down and explain what the sitch is. So let's go.
I don't find, because let's have the conversation. What is more important, perception or reality?
Okay, so let's pause and just really address this question. So again, she asked, what is more important, perception or reality? And those aren't mutually exclusive categories. So I studied this a lot. This is something that I found very interesting as a child, as far as the difference between perception and reality. And sometimes there's not a difference. Sometimes your perception is the reality. Like if you're looking at this and you see the color blue, that's your perception, but that's also the reality, if that makes any sense. So as far as with perception and reality, but you know, we have this field, especially when it comes to psychology, in optical illusions or just illusions in general, because there are some illusions that apply to other sensory to other senses. So especially when you have things like the free fall tanks, not the free fall tanks, but you know, the when you're skydiving, but you're not actually skydiving, but it feels like you're skydiving, that is a illusion of the body, so to speak. There's another illusion where if you pinprick, if you find, like, you take a pencil, and the very tip of the pencil, you can touch a free nerve and it feels cold, but it's not actually cold. That is an illusion of your nerve receptions, so on and so forth. So especially with optical illusions, you know, they're very, very common. There's different kinds, you know, the kinds where it kind of looks like things are a different color, but they're not actually different color if you know, superimpose or you find the truth of the actual matter at hand. And so that's where there are cases where your perception is not reality. And that's kind of, if you see my other previous videos when I was talking about hypothesis testing, about what you think will happen versus what actually happens, that's a similar case where you have to make sure that your perception of something also matches with what reality, like the reality is a thing that you can't actually change. And so you have to make sure that you are having the most accurate understanding of what's going on around you, because especially in the case of optical illusions, if we're going to talk, say, the military and camouflage, like if you don't accurately perceive the enemy threat as being there, and they have a sniper or whatever, you're going to get got because you weren't properly aware of where the enemy was. And that's like an example of where your perception and the reality need to be in sync. So again, perception or reality is that's not really an either or question, but you do want to make sure that the both of them are meshed appropriately, so you're not being deceived. But we'll see how the ladies respond.
Perception or reality?
For me, reality.
Okay.
Reality.
Okay, so
my reality is more important.
Your reality, not the truth of it all, just your truth or your reality.
So yeah, so anytime you hear someone say my reality or my truth, there's you gotta be careful with that, because obviously there is their truth, quote unquote, which is their opinion. But then you have the truth, which is the facts and reality of the things that you don't have any control over or any sway over. Like if I want to say it is my truth that this microphone is red, I don't actually think that, so I wouldn't say that. I don't know. Oh, okay, so say we'll talk about something that's more subjective. So it's my truth that this is a beautiful pen. This pen is so gorgeous. It is so the community about trade. This is such a beautiful pen. That's my truth. And it's like you can't. I mean, you could, but like that is my opinion of this pen. Is it an objective truth? Maybe not. You know, as far as with this, will everyone think that this pen is beautiful and that it looks so great? Like, no, but is it my perception that I find it that? I mean, also no, but theoretically, yes. But anyway, my truth, my reality, that's already in shaky ground of understanding because it's going to be very, very subjective. And it's pretty much the things that are only occurring in that person's head. And she's valid. She's fine to have her own opinion, but to be careful to not project that opinion onto other people. Continuing.
I'm saying, like, what is more certain? What is more important, the perception of how we see a thing or what that thing really is? And I'm going to give you an example.
What the thing really is.
What's more important, the fact that Martin Luther King is the man that we see that fought for freedom, or the fact that he was cheating on his wife?
Jesus. I think, ooh. Oh, no, move.
Again, she says the fact, but those are all really allegations. And let's just talk about the fact, I push play. But let's just talk about the fact that they're taking allegations supposedly from the FBI, and the FBI being a part of the system that, like, when has the FBI ever been wholeheartedly trustworthy as far as the information that they push out? And so, especially, like, these ladies seem to be the type of people who would call for systemic oppression and say there's something wrong with the system, you can't trust the government, yada yada yada. But the minute that they push out a bad image of one of the greatest civil rights leaders, one of the greatest leaders within the United States, and they take that and run with it, not even treating it with any bit of skepticism, it's just like, come on, do better, be better. Okay.
What's more important?
I love you, baby.
What's more important? Because that is the reality of the fact. He was a great man who knew God's word, who led people to freedom. He was cheating on his wife. That is a fact. So what is more important? Is it more important that we see him as that man who gave that amazing speech on that amazing day and led amazing people to freedom?
Okay, so again, it's not a fact, but it's like, also, guess what? Martin Luther King Jr. was human, like we are. We all have our temptations, we have our faults, and it's just kind of like, what do you expect perfection out of this man? Like, this goes for literally anyone in any leadership position. Like, we can't keep treating people like they're Jesus. I mean, this is the issue with cancel culture, as far as with people always bringing up wrongnesses and transgressions and sins of the past and bringing it back up to light and using those transgressions against them because, surprise surprise, they're human and weren't perfect. Like, sorry, but it's just, and I get that if it is true that the allegations of Martin Luther King Jr. that he was cheating on his wife, that is an issue for Coretta Scott King to address. I mean, she's not, like, neither of them are alive, so, like, also these are claims against people who can't even defend themselves, and so it's just kind of like, let them rest in peace. Goodness. And she's, like, trying to say, is it more important that Martin Luther King sacrificed his life for what he believed in, for the unity of the nation and the unity of people as humans, or the fact that he might have cheated on his wife? Which one is more important that we see him as? It's just like, let's have some perspective. Let's just have some perspective. Okay, let's go.
Or is it important that we know, or is it important that we knew both?
I think it's both.
But that's hindsight. That's hindsight. You
to
see
me,
what I'm saying?
Reality is more important. I think reality is important.
But
reality,
to you,
the
but
truth,
what's more
the
important
truth.
to the overall picture?
Fucking perception.
Thank you. It's more important
to me because outside of Martin Luther King.
And so, like, just here, even, like, I don't know who is who, but the one on the right is trying to say the truth is more important than everything else. But what it sounds like to me is that the lady on the left is trying to lead her into a certain answer. So the lady on the left wants her to say perception, but she wasn't getting that. Like, I think it's B. Simone Lead on the right. I was trying to say the truth is what matters, reality is what matters, but she's like, but then she's like, but actually, but wait, but keep going, and then until she says perception, she's like, thank you, that's the answer I was looking for. And so it seems very, very leading, but no, reality will matter will always matter more. Like the truth will matter more than anything else. Like the truth is all we have. The truth always matters. The truth is the only thing that matters. So let's let them finish.
Let me give you an example. He's a great father. He's a great father. He's a great father. He's a great businessman. He's a great CEO. He's an entrepreneur.
He's such a boss.
He's such a boss.
He's a boss.
Look at that man. He's a boss.
Look at him.
He's a great father. Look at him, that strong black man.
Look at him being at his kid's game.
Look at him. He's a great father. He's a boss. He's a strong black man.
Look at him posting his wife. Look at him.
Look at him.
On date night. Look at him.
But you're cheating on your wife. You're not a good husband. You're not a good communicator. You don't value her feelings. But he's great in all these other aspects. How are you a great leader, a great CEO, a great black man, a great father, a great leader in any aspect? You're not a great husband, a great communicator, a great...
You're a liar.
You're not great.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause right here and kind of break this down as well. And I think there is some merit to what she's saying, but also not. And so this kind of leads back to like the Christian perspective as far as how we are different persons, if that makes any sense. So like how we say God in three persons, God is the Father, God is the Son, and God is the Holy Ghost, but they're not necessarily each of their own. So that would be like me. I am a sister. I am also a friend. I'm also a daughter, but I'm not all those same things at once. Like I'm not a friend to my mother. I'm her daughter. Like we don't have that relationship. Like that's a boundary that doesn't necessarily get crossed. Like if that makes any sense. I know that some people say like my mom is my best friend. Blah blah blah. We didn't have that. We didn't have that growing up. But. So, or whatever it is that you're in your job, like how you are in your job environment is not going to be the same person that you are with your friends. And so it's like something where you can be excellent at your job, but with your friends, like you never want to go out, you never want to see them, or you're blah, 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 blah. So it's like you're the same person, but in different aspects, there's different strengths and weaknesses, if that makes any sense. And so she's trying to compare how he is as it sounds like she's leading into some bitterness over a baby daddy. Like if you just bitter, just say that. But it just sounds like she's trying to say like, well, if he's not as good of a father, he might be a good father, but he's not a good husband, and he's not a good man. And it's just like, yes and no, like they're related, but they're not related, and it's this unfortunate balance. And this is why you should be married before you have kids, so that you don't have to work with this. But obviously this is a fallen world, and some people will end up in this situation where a man will be a father separately than he is a husband or a spouse or a significant other. And so that seems to be the issue that she's taking up with this man, where he can be a great father and a great example to her children, but they don't have that same mutual respect, which is really unfortunate. And it does suck, because it does set up an example of it's just not the best example that you want to provide your kids. Like the best example that you can give them is to be married and to be in a long-term relationship that's built on that trust and built on that good faith, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's not pleasant, I will admit that.
You're
not great.
You're a liar.
You're not great.
So that's my
You're
point.
You're not great.
So I posted this.
You're not great.
The others.
God, you're not. That is triggering.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a good dad. You're not a good dad because you don't respect me. How the fuck you showing these kids you a good father and you don't respect their mother? How are you a good father and you don't respect who brought them into this world?
carried them.
You're not a great dad, my nigga. You're an okay human.
You're present in the sense of...
I'm sorry.
Big mad or little bad? So yeah. So right now she's being very. So she's. Then it sounds like she's taking a very personal, specific incident, and then is now trying to apply that to Martin Luther King Jr. And that's like, that's not even in the same realm. It's not in the same realm for everything that Martin Luther King Jr. accomplished. Or some would say that he didn't accomplish. I know there's still some debate around that, but I think it's more positive than it was negative. But yeah, so she sounds very, very bitter. She sounds like she's holding some personal grudges, and some of it might be warranted, some of it might not be. I don't know her situation. I don't know what her whole life story is, but this whole thing is just like, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I finished the clip. Right now, though, it just seems like they're disrespecting Martin Luther King over something very personal, if that makes any sense. Their level of perspective is abysmal at best.
Jesus Christ, I just got worked. What did you put in this drink?
No, but seriously, it's like, okay, so for an example, if I'm a good person to you, but I'm not a good person...
Oh, no, come on, baby, please.
I'm not a good person to other people.
I love that quote.
Am I a good person?
Say it again.
If I'm a good person to you, I posted this it's on my post, and I posted it on my stories before, but someone being a good person to you means they're a good person to you. Someone being a good person to everyone means that they're a good person.
In general.
And that's my point. What is the consistency of your character? You cannot say that you are a good husband or you are a good wife, because let's make it gender neutral.
Kind of. I mean, the biblical answer is that no one is good. No one is good but God. And we only do good things because God has ordained them as good, but that doesn't make you a good person. It's good because the action is good, because God commanded it that it's good. You know what I'm saying? So just because I don't go around murdering people, does that make me a good person? I mean, it depends on your worldview, but according to biblically, it just means that I'm obedient to God, really. Which is like, some people aren't ready for that conversation. Is what it is. Let me see how they finish this. But that question is also just, it's oddly phrased, and I don't really like it. No, that was pretty much it for the clip, as far as with them putting Martin Luther King Jr.'s entire legacy on, like, trying to discredit it because of allegations of him potentially cheating on his wife. And that's just kind of, that seems crazy to me, but what the heck do I know? I'm just an amateur. Let me know what you think about this in the comment sections. I don't know why I keep making comment sections plural. It's annoying to me, but I keep doing it. Anyway, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.